In the lands far, far away, there was a sorceress by the name of Morgan Le Fay, a powerful sorceress who had conquered an entire country and bent its inhabitants to her will. She lived in a stronghold where she practiced her magic through the use of spellbooks, because, according to her, they were the best types of conduits to channel her magic through, which put her at odds with other mages. But that is a story for another time. The ability to hold and channel things like lightning storms, mini typhoons and blazing infernos was most sublime, but unfortunately the world had limited spellbook knowledge, and she had all but learned and studied all of them, which meant that she had reached the upper limits of her power, for her knowledge was limited, but she did not give up, for out there somewhere, more spellbook knowledge waited for her. She only needed just to find a way to obtain it. She had no idea that her wish was soon to be granted, for out of nowhere, everything started to shake, get brighter. A loud, disturbing noise was ringing through her ears, and then nothing. For she was moved to a place that she had never seen before. Little did she know that this was going to be the start of her new journey. Where am I? What is this place? My stronghold has disappeared. It will seem that whatever happened not let me go empty-handed. I have tools to start a new life here. Well, but I can find a way to get back to my old one. So let's get to it and build a new base of operations. Well, until I have to move on, that is. It will also seem that I am not the only one here too. I better hurry up and explore as much as I can before the darkness washes over the land. I have to prioritize getting a spell book as soon as possible in order to defend myself. This cave is rather cavernous and deep. I wonder how far it goes down and what kind of terrors await me down there. But while I am here, I better as well pick up some tungsten ore so that I can at least provide some protection for myself. A fungal infected area. So even this place has those two, huh? Finally some much needed protection, which is so much better than none at all. Now I am more confident to explore the new world further. To the left I found an ever expanding desert with strange sand mounds, and to the right I found something that shook me to my very core. A purple, almost death-like haze hung about this place. The ground looked sick and purple from rot. The odor in this place was most foul and pungent, practically corrosive to the lungs, making it difficult to breathe. The corruption, as some call it, is truly an evil place to be, so I must leave this place for now, for I have hope that just beyond this evil place there was a spellbook knowledge to be gained for me. I was, indeed, partially correct. What I found was the frozen tundra, a perpetual winter wonderland, and I will have to come back here later for something special. So I pressed on and found a rather beautiful oasis. I arrived at what I presume is a dungeon of sorts, and there was a disheveled old man at the entrance that told me to come back when I was powerful enough to free him from his curse. Now I am curious as to what this curse may be. I was also told by the guide, as he likes to call himself, that by gathering a plant called Shivathorn that only grows in the tundra, I could extract its power and put it into a blank tome and get my very first new spell book. I returned back to the tundra and I did as I was told and got myself the Frostbolt, a simple but rather crude spell that shoots out ice so cold that it burns. I feel like it will become a lot more useful in the future, but for now, it will have to do for me. Wanted to fully explore my world, I went further to the right side and found a sea so toxic that the birds that flew above it fell from the sky dead. But I was relatively fine, and that was until I jumped into the murky waters. I felt something was off, like the water was consuming my flesh. I knew then that I had to leave this place and perhaps come back when I'm better prepared. So I went to the left side, hoping that things were better over there. I came across the jungle, a slippery, dirty and insect-infected place. This place is disgusting. I hated the air. got bored with the jungle because I could not find those legendarily huge hives that some villagers near the jungle had warned me about, so the underground desert should entertain me for now. And speaking of entertainment, here is a dehydrated seahorse coming in to stop me from further exploration. What a truly pathetic creature. Sometimes I think that this place is a death trap filled with spiky boulders and coffin traps. Maybe there is more to this place than I initially think. Anyways, that place was boring either way. So how about these guys instead? Well, finding something interesting did not take too long. What is this place? A floating meteor. I must check out what is inside this floating pile of dirt. What's this? A hidden space? It looks so high-tech and futuristic. But who could have built this place? And for what? Whoa, this place, it even has its own defense system in place to ward off thieves, which they now work due to their rather incompetent placements. Let's see what else is around here. A floating island is most fascinating. How it floats like that, I do not know. Perhaps magic, I would suggest. But that doesn't matter, for it contains a magic magnet, which is sure to be helpful towards my end goal. While lounging around in my base, I was quite rudely disturbed by the sound of falling slimes, almost like it was raining slimes. But whatever, I had to do a quick cleanup so that they don't begin to pile up and cause any problems, present or future ones. Just when I thought that the slime invasion was over, I felt a slight disturbance in the air. Then this creature appeared, a massive slime sporting a crown that, for some reason, has the ability to teleport. As a slime bounced around trying to crush me, I burned it with my frost bolt, hoping to keep it at bay, for it was only a matter of time before I get myself killed. If things keep going like this, its crown jewels detached and started attacking me, making me think that its crown had to be enchanted. Can slimes perform magic? Do they know magic? Well, whatever, that is irrelevant for now. I also noticed that the more I hit this slime, the smaller it would get. I hit it until I killed it, making it fall apart to small slimes. Knowing that the battle was over, my adrenaline waned and the blood rushing through my veins cooled. The Gelatinous Monarch is, from my research and understanding, the result of multiple slimes fusing together to create a larger, stronger, more mindless beast that once fully formed represent even a challenge to the most seasoned of veterans, which is quite amusing considering how weak slimes tend to be. Some point after the Slime Monarch fight, I obtained a new spellbook by transmutating the Frostbolt into the Veering Winds. I then came to the desert to hunt down a sandworm. I used an ancient medallion to attract the sandworm. This dried out husk of a worm shoots out spikes from its body that causes continuous bleeding, but my high-speed regeneration made sure that it wasn't too much of a problem. After persistent attacks on it, it finally had enough and let out an eerie shriek that called for its companions, who burst forth from the windless sands and set themselves upon me, but I did not waver, and instead used up the last bit of my magic to excoriate the worms from the desert sands, never to enjoy the coolness of the deserts ever again. A once majestic sea beast that was known as an ancient underwater scourge is now a presumed shadow of its former self. How it ended up in the desert, I have not the clue, but maybe the desert can tell me its story and share with me its secrets. Through the use of various materials dissected from the remains of the worm, I managed to extract their essence and put them in a tow, thus creating the coarse parts. A sandstone. The stirring of the desert sands might indicate that there is ore that hides beneath these sands. I shall check it out. I heard from a less than auspicious source that the desert used to be a vibrant seafaring community until a great cataclysmic event befell them, setting their entire society on the ground, or so the legend goes. Now, whether that is true or not is yet to be seen, or so I thought, until I found the evidence hidden beneath the sand dunes. So this is what remains of the ancient sea: hard sediments caked in sea prisms and soft sediments covered in plants. There are also life forms here, like these larger than average mollusks, who for some reason also come in the giant variety. I did not know that deep sea gentrification was a thing here. When I cracked open the mask, a strange fishman-like creature came out. He told me that his name was Amidas, the king of the fallen seafaring kingdom, not community, he reminded me. I asked him about what happened to his kingdom and how he got into that mosque. He replied, saying something along the lines of, a foul chaotic witch came and evaporated his entire kingdom, along with nearly the entire sea. After the collapse of his kingdom, he was swallowed up by the mosque and lay dormant for centuries. Huh, a chaotic witch. She sounds rather powerful. I hope that whoever she is, she has long since passed. Because at this point, at this stage of my journey, I do not want to come across such a powerful foe. Going down to the corrupted tunnels makes me uneasy. Whoever dug these tunnels probably looks nightmarish. But finding out who made these tunnels will have to wait, because the Sea King called me to him, because he had a spellbook from the Sunken Kingdom to give me, called the Wave Washer. There were more spellbooks in his kingdom, but they were all either destroyed or missing. After getting the spellbook, it was time to get rid of that suspicious giant eye flying about in the night sky. While fighting it, I began to question how a living eye came to be in the first place. Maybe the guide has some answers for me. Uh, is that normal? Like an eye with sharp teeth? Well, a living eye isn't normal either, but luckily, either way, you cannot stand against me. Eye of, weirdness or something. This eye is indeed peculiar. How it came to be is a mystery. Some say it is a manifestation of the evil and corruption of the failed dreams and aspiration of fallen heroes. Some others claim that it is a long lost organ of a celestial creature that some say is currently watching. But I do not believe in such fairy tales. After that ghastly fight against the eye, which left me with many sleepless nights, visiting the sulfuric seas seemed like a way to take my mind off things. But upon reaching that place, the rain felt off somehow, almost corrosive to the touch. Or maybe it was just me. The rain burned. It felt like my skin was almost melting off. I hated it. Also, what are these rather interesting, vicious creatures? Where do they come from? I must investigate this further. Upon investigation, I discovered that these vicious, atrocious creatures were from the corrosive depths of the sea, who only came out due to the humidity and wetness brought forth by the storm. But I was luckily able to repel them back to depths for now. But something tells me that they will be back and stronger than ever. Upon returning back home, I was informed by the dryad that there was a disturbance in the fungal fields. I found a strange mushroom down there, and when I plucked it, it brought forth an enraged fungal infested crustacean. It was surprisingly fast and agile for such a bulky creature, so he cut in a few good hits on me. The hail of mycelium spores did not make this fight any better, but I was able to finally bring down this behemoth, as it took one too many wind blasts to the face and body, and upon its death it collapsed into a swarm of mycelium spores. It is hard to describe and to imagine how a fungal infection merged with and reanimated the corpse of a giant sea crab. I am both equally disturbed and amazed by the way the fungus works. The ability to take control of the hosts and bend it to your will. Truly fascinating. I came back to these tunnels once again because I feel that there is finally time to find out who is making these tunnels. I used baits to attract the beast, and what I discovered was beyond comprehension. 3 worms, all extremely hostile and hungry. They were fast, intelligent, cunning and cooperative, and worst of all, capable of splitting into multiple segments that then take on a life of their own. Unfortunately for them, the sharp winds from my spellbook was too much for them to handle, which made them stand no chance against defeating me. And when the dust settled, only their rotting corpses remained from this battle. As the final shadow orb broke, a monstrous shriek echoed throughout the caverns. Then the monster that was slowly eating the planets came up from the tunnels that it had presumably dug. Its foul breath and multiple mouths set ablaze with Greek. When I faced it, I felt both fear and excitement. This fight was truly going to be interesting. On my way further down to the planet's core, I went on a bit of an exploration spree, and what I found shocked me. I found another hidden lab. Now, who created these labs, and what are they for? All this is yet unknown to me. I left the lab and continued further down until I felt a sweltering heat of the underworld. Knowing that this place was crawling with demons, I knew that I had to get a move on, because I am here for one thing and one thing only, and that one thing was Hellstone. I used the Hellstone, got in and extracted its essence and obtained the Flare Bolts, a spell not unlike the Frost Bolts. Now it is time to test out the Flare Bolt against the infected brain of its psionic abilities were powerful. The power to give you a mighty concussion during the fight made me miss most of my attacks against it. It also began to play tricks on my mind, creating illusions of things that were not there. But I steadied my mind and saw through its illusions and struck the final blow that brought it down. First, it was an eye. Now, it is a brain. Just how many of these misplaced organs exist out there? Or maybe it is just my mind playing tricks on me. Either way, its existence is quite terrifying if the rumors of its origins are to be trusted. I returned back to the floating islands because I was informed by some villagers that some blue shooting stars would periodically drop from the islands. Stars were sturdy and could be used for a lot of things. I went to the island to verify this, only to discover that it was merely some ore. But I could turn said ore into a new spell book if I tried hard enough to. And do that I did. I obtained the spell book Trade Winds. During another jungle excursion, I found another one of these labs. Then to see if there was any information in the labs, I checked, only to be informed of an apparent laboratory breach that occurred some time ago. I think that I might be starting to understand the reason for the existence of these labs. I also found what I was looking for, a large beehive. Who knows what kind of monstrosity lurks in there? Once inside the hive, I discovered a massive bee larva. I attacked the larva, and things got hectic very quickly. For the queen of this hive, not take a liking to what I had done. I would be more afraid if not for the prospect of getting some honey-glazed roasted insects as my next meal. Maybe without the poison in it, for better tastes. The bee did not last very long and was thankfully not burnt to a crisp due to my flare bolt. To think that bees could reach this size is quite fascinating, truly a thing of beauty. It was a shame that I had to smash it. Its hive was finished anyways. The bee would never have survived on its own without the hive. Its reliance on its workers for nourishment ultimately crippled it. Now that I was a lot more powerful, I went over to the old man at the dungeon. He looked at me and said, "Now that you have obtained more power, you can finally free me from my curse." I nodded, completely unaware of what was to come. His eyes went white and he went limp before his body burst into pieces and a horrid, bony creature came out drenched in blood. It attacked me in quick succession, his bony hand around me and crushed me into pieces. It unhinged its jaws and sent out flying magical scars. It reminded me of a certain spell that I used to use before, but that magic trick was not the old thing in its arsenal. It could also teleport in a flash of blinding light. I took down its arms until it was just a head remaining, at which point it went crazy with all its attacks, before it finally dropped to the ground, bones clattering on the wooden floors. The story of the old man is a tale as old as time. Once a practicing necromancer turned possessed despot, his entrance into the field of dark arts, no matter how brief it was, cost him his soul, branding him with the curse of the dungeon. a vessel to an ancient being. Breaking my way into the dungeon after killing the garden, I was told that this place was infested with undead soldiers, a blight on this cursed place. When they are defeated, they simply collapse into a pile of old bones, only to resurrect minutes later. In addition to the skeleton, there is not an inconceivable amount of traps in this place too. Getting tired of dungeon diving, I decided to see what was underneath the sulfuric seas. I made my way down there and saw a lot of interesting things, like forests of kelp, floating rocks, and squalid caves. Two of the most peculiar sea creatures untouched by the acidic waves of the sea. Perhaps the underworld has some intrigue, like this abandoned civilization. That makes me think about how many people even manage to live here, considering how vacant this place is. And now that I mention it, how could all these plants even survive and thrive down here? That is truly a mystery. The moment I got back to the surface, I got ambushed by more strange slimes, questioning me about the mysterious disappearance of the slime monarch. Getting no answer, they struck, while announcing their presence as the emissaries of one of the 20 divine gods, the slime god, who, although did not attack me directly, made sure to make things more difficult for me during the fight. This fight was a hard-won battle, from duplicating slimes with super speed to slimes empowered by the slime god, but I won, and that is all that mattered. Due to my victory, the slime god fled the scene humiliated and frightened, which made me question its divine status. Some god, huh? I thought that a slime monarch was the strangest thing that I would have the misfortune to lay my eyes on, but they now have a god too. How intelligent or complex these slimy life forms are, but for now I can only speculate as to where their evolution takes them next. As for my victory against the deity, an eldritch tome was relinquished to my possession. After banishing the god, I paid another visit to the dungeon. While searching the dungeon thoroughly, I found a hidden room, and quite an expansive room at that. And from my point of view, I see this place as an open arena of sorts. Back down in the underworld, a place of pain and suffering. A legend says that setting a voodoo doll ablaze will summon all the evils of the world in one place, to take on the form of a massive wall of flesh. I did not believe this at first, but like most things, I tried it out to see if it was real or not. The legend was proven true, and all I could do was simply stare in abject horror at the petrifying visage of aged and rotting flesh. The pungent smell, horrible, and its attacks, lightning fast. I dodged the attacks and sent out some magical ones of my own, with traded blows, and at one point its eyes detached from its body to fight me. I beat them back using all the spells that I had learned so far, until the towering wall collapsed into a pile of flesh and decay. And almost like the whole world sensed this, the world began to change and morph into a more hostile and dangerous place. I have been having some thoughts about what my end goal is. Is my goal to go back to my dimension, or to fully explore this one to its fullest and collect every single new spell book that I can get? There is one thing that I know for certain. Destruction of the fleshy wall is a path forward. Thinking about the potential consequences and implications of what I did, I panicked, but perhaps everything was alright and I was just overreacting. The old man told me that an asteroid has struck the Chandra. I only need just locate it in order to observe it. It would seem that I have arrived at the crash site. Rotten wood and ashy snow. Very interesting. The asteroid seems to have brought with it a virus that is currently rapidly spreading across the tundra. What the? Cosmic beasts? They probably arrived here with the asteroid. Anyways, this is the asteroid, huh? This pain. Is this what getting the astral virus feels like? This asteroid also feels quite cold. I better get out of here. It looks like something also came along with the asteroid. An altar perhaps. I cannot do anything with it yet. Maybe in the future I can. I suspected that the infection had made its way underground, but how far did it get is a question that I am not interested in answering. Either way, I was only in the tundra to collect some SSs, but they were essential to making my latest spellbook, the Frigid Flashbolt, a spell that both freezes and burns you. There was also a sandstorm happening where I encountered a protector of the sands, a sad elemental. I heard that they only came out to remove unwelcome guests. They also carry forbidden fragments, chock full of ancient magic. I think that I can make something of this. Maybe also checking on the underground sea again. Another mollusk, I feel like fighting it again because the old sea king told me that one of these mollusks had probably eaten a spell book, so I am here to procure said book. It appears that he was correct, for the Poseidon book is said to contain a magical nature typhoon that can wash away my enemies. Brilliant. Another spell book called the Serpentine was also swallowed up by an eel, but it is now secure in my hands. Something seems different about the jungle, but that is irrelevant, for it was time to see what this crystal does. What's this? Another slime monarch? Just how many of these powerful sentient creatures are there? Is this the doing of the slime god? I knew I should have gotten that coward before it fled. Well, that doesn't matter right now because this slime feels a whole lot different from the others. I have a bad feeling about it. I knew that my instincts weren't lying to me. It grew wings like some kind of bird and has gotten a lot faster. The slime god seems to have learned from its mistake and created a proper sentinel and guardian of its kingdom. But unfortunately for said god, it should have created a more sturdier sentinel. I hope that I will never have to see another goddamn slime again. Remember when I talked about the intrigue of the slimes and about how I was tired of seeing so many different slimes? Here is another member of the slime monarchy. First a king, then a god, now a queen. What next? A prince? A princess? Or maybe a knight next time? I hope that this is the end of this nonsense. Stupid slime, stupid wizard for them to go into the tundra and sort out that monster. Like, why should I even care about that? But you might find something interesting, he said. I am not your errand girl, old man. Whatever, I should just get this over with. A monster that for some reason looks like a castle. How about you stop rampaging through the tundra? Huh, wasn't expecting a response. But enough talk, have at you. Well, that castle sure is crumbling away rather quickly. It's actually giving me a run for my platinum coins. It has some high level magic put on it. Whoever enchanted this castle seems to be very powerful. The ice walls are completely crumbling away now. And what's that? An old man? Great, another old man that I have to invite over to my village. Hope you are more useful than the rest of the village at least. At first, I thought that this was just another monster rampaging about in the tundra, only for me to quickly realize that it was an enchanted castle turned monster. It was cursed by a vile witch called Calamity, or so the Archmage tells me. I have yet to verify these claims, but the thought of a powerful witch out there excites me. The only things I could learn from her. While waiting out in the cold desert for some reason, I felt the hairs at the back of my neck rise up, making me alert, because the sudden appearance of two massive eyes scared me. I told them that I don't know who they were and how they got here, and I told them that they were messing with the wrong witch, and I engaged them, first firing off my mini typhoon at them, hoping for the pressure to crush them, but instead it only exposed their true forms, but they were not of flesh, but metal. They were robots. Upon realizing this, my mind began to go through the possibilities of what this might entail, but I'm trying not to think of it too much during combat. It wasn't until I struck the final blow did I get time for thinking. I am disturbed by these contraptions. Who made them? Who sent them out to get me? They look like that eye I fought a while back, but this one's stuffed full of wires and other electronics. Whoever did this, something tells me that this is not the last that I have seen of them. While resting on the sulfuric beaches, a curious creature caught my eye. Its shape and form looked familiar, like I had seen it before, but I might just be imagining things. Perhaps showering it with a little bit of fiery ice can get its attention. Yep, it seemed none too pleased about that, but I needed to pick on in order to distract my mind from yesterday's debacle. It was just unfortunate that it was you, sea creature. Wait a minute. I knew I recognized that form before. It looks like the Desert Scourge, or at least a more hydrated and mutated version of the Desert Scourge. Now, how did this one wind up here, of all places? All the way from the sunken seas. There are bits and pieces of information about the cataclysmic event that I am missing. Maybe one of the villagers could tell me more, or at least point me in the general direction of more knowledge. I presume that this water-based creature is related to the other beast I killed weeks ago, but this one has been laying around and adapting to its poisonous sea. The venomous spikes on its back are likely a result of being in here for so long. Are there perhaps more of its kind out there to slay? Upon the defeat of the creature, let's call it the aquatic scourge, the sulfuric sea began to stir and unleashed a massive torrent of mutated terrors. They quickly swarmed me, snapping at my heels, threatening to drag me down to the depths of the abyss. I struggled against them and fought them off, but mostly staying out of the waters. And during the chaos, I somehow dislodged a spell from the jaws of a mutated eel. How the book has survived the acidic waters of the sea is a mystery even to me. Once night fell, I got ambushed by this mechanical worm. It began when I felt an intense vibration coming from the underground mines. I left my base as soon as I could, but strangely the vibrations followed me until I was alone. Then the worm burst out from under the ground and attacked me, and that is where it all began. But so far I am holding my own against the worm, or the mechanical digger of sorts. And is it just me, or are they based on past foes that I have conquered and defeated, and maybe just be overthinking things? However, this worm is no match for me or my might. I've grown far too powerful to be put down by such a lowly creature. Another one of those mechanical abominations showed up again. This is making me ask the question about who is sending these things to attack me. Who have I wronged? I want answers. Perhaps I shall get those one day. I was asked, no, more like pleaded to by Permafrost, the first wizard, to check out the abandoned town in the underworld, while handing me a suspicious idol. It did not specify the reason why I am doing it, but it did say that my magic getting stronger will cause a disturbance down there, and to offer the idol when I get there. Whatever, fine, I will do as he says. Wait, what is that sound? A creature just emerged from the lava. So you must be what Permafrost was so afraid of.
Silence, human. You and your ilk should have never returned to this place. Your mere presence here is disrespectful. All you humans do is take and take and take from the world until there is nothing left. I taught you my magic, but yet that was not enough for you. Instead of using it for its intended purpose, you set the world ablaze due to your own selfishness and arrogance. Now that you have no more gods to protect you, I am going to do what I should have done a long time ago and erase your species from this world. Now burn to ash.
Wow, you have got a lot of problems there, lady. Also, I have never, seen you or interacted with you in my entire life at all.
That matters not.
Okay, whatever you say then. She seems to be rather angry at something. No, someone, I suspect. Someone very powerful. Her brimstone magic is powerful. I will have to obtain that power for myself after I kill her. Ha! Take this!
Why won't you leave me be? Did you just come here to kill me so that you could obtain my magic? If so, then here, take all of it, you monster. You are no better than her.
No better than her? Who is her? Is it perhaps that witch that people keep talking about? What a strange being. The fact that a creature like this, who I would assume lay dormant for centuries, suddenly arose from its slumber when I used that idol on the cursed grounds of the brimstone rags, tells me that my magic might have stirred, causing this confrontation. Maybe my presence echoes that of a former adversary. Oh chaos, let's hope that I don't live to regret this. Ah, just in time. I'm assuming that you are the last of the mechanical spawn. Alright, let's do this. I've been looking forward to getting my hands on some more scrap metal. Whoa, cool it with the lasers. I'm going to assume that you did not like what I just said. Wait, hold on, what are you doing here? I thought that I turned you to junk So you were just remade and sent after me just like that, huh? I destroyed it before and I will do it again. And for the love of, how many missiles and bombs do you have? Like, no wonder you were sent to kill me last, because you would have definitely had a better shot at doing it than those other disgraced scrap metal. Wait, now I smell like gunpowder. This will take ages to wash off. Maybe I can just find a spell to make it easier for me. Another one of these beasts of steel appeared, and hopefully the last one. After my intense battle with it, I rummaged through its scraps and came upon a unique and strange branding that said Toys of Draydon. Whoever this is, I feel like they are responsible for all those laboratories located around the world. As I sat here in the monsoon, I suddenly felt an immense amount of chaotic magic heading towards me, threatening to erase me from existence. When it showed its face, I laughed very, very hard, because I thought that this was just yet another eye that held itself in high regard. Oh, how foolish I was. Very uninformed, that is. The reason why I say this is because the eye, for some very strange reason, possesses the same type of magic that the Brimstone Elemental held domain over. It was also mechanical, so there goes my previous speculation that the skeleton was the last of the mechanical spawn to come. Anyways, our magic clashed and I eventually won the clash, proving my magic to be the superior of both of us. How a mechanical spawn had managed to, harness magic is truly questionable and terrifying to think about. Yet another mechanical abomination, surely another one of Draydon's works. But this one, unlike the other ones, is quite unique. A machine that somehow possesses chaotic magic. How Draydon managed that is intriguing, truly so. A genius this Draydon fellow is. Making an open arena for the strange plant balls to grow is something that the Dryad recommended to me, because apparently they look so beautiful and very, very nice. She also warned me not to crush them, because according to her, something very, very bad will happen. I am not someone known to, listen to reason. Well, according to her anyway. Well, she said not to crush it, so let's see what's going to happen when I do that. Wait, is that an overgrown rosebud? That looks positively hilarious and very, very non-threatening. Also, what's with the seed slinging? Are you trying to give me chlorophyll poisoning? Whatever, I shall burn you with the help of my latest spell, the Lashes of Chaos, which is filled to the brim with chaotic brimstone magic. Let's just hope that I don't end up causing a jungle fire. Okay, I just got rid of its outer shell. That is definitely not normal, and it seems very, very angry at me. Like, what did I ever do to you? Also, its seeds hit very, very hard and do indeed poison you, because why not? Don't you just love how messed up nature can get sometimes? Maybe I should have brought my weed killer with me instead. It looks like I won't have to get the weed killer after all. The true guardian of the jungle, a terror that stalks the jungles. With its razor-sharp teeth, long tentacle arms, and poisonous smog that hangs around it, it firmly cements itself as the jungle's apex predator. I admittedly almost died to the plant. It is currently the closest that I ever want to get to death. Ah, the Everglade Spray spell. Some call it the Poisonous Fire spell. By some, I mean me, yours truly. Now let's take it out for a test drive in the dungeon that has some new residents. Wait, something about what I just said doesn't sound right. Oh well, the more enemies, the merrier. Also, they are just, specters in here now, for some reason, and not before. Wait, I did not know that one of those failed sorcerers was secretly hoarding a very intriguing tome from me. I'm glad I came back here then. And this dungeon excursion was not just a waste of time and energy and mana potions. The spell is very effective at keeping those skeletons in check, while preventing the specters from crawling up my nose and under my robes. The Tears of Heaven spell, a spell said to be made from the tear ducts of an angel. I'm going to have a hard time explaining that to the Dryad, aren't I? Another spell book that smells like sandstorm, a dusty book if you would. Speaking of the desert, another sandstorm just blew by and brought with it a lot more trouble and headache than last time. Like say a very large and angry sand shark that wants to munch on me like I am some sort of cactus fruit or something. Well, goodbye and good riddance. At least you were no baby shark. While diving into the ocean, I heard the most beautiful of songs coming from the ocean floors. So I went there and discovered that it was a siren, something that old pirate guy had warned me about. So I killed it, thinking that it was over, only to be surprised when a large carnivorous whale-like creature tried to swallow me whole in one big gulp. It also did not help that apparently the siren that I killed wasn't actually dead, but was merely pretending so that she could sneak up on me and got me with an honest to chaos smile on her stupid fish face. But unfortunately for both her and the whale creature, who I just learned is called the Leviathan, they are really bad at their job. Like, very bad. Do you know how many times they just missed their attacks on me and then just blamed each other for the reasons why their attacks missed? Despite the fact that, one of them has some very obviously bad aim and coordination skills. What I'm trying to say is that they're just both really dumb and also very dead now. The Leviathan, a rather predatory beast that is from a place that I have come to know as the Abyss, a large void containing an underground deep sea, a geological marvel if one might lay eyes upon it. According to the Sea King, a goddess by the name of Anahita often accompanies the Leviathan from the Abyss depths. I am presuming that flying mermaid was her. While snooping around the astral tundra, a very loud, probably dangerous machine just landed out of nowhere. Now, I am going to probably presume that it is one of Draydan's machines due to the complexity of its machinery. It also appeared to be very heavily armored, just like the mechanical skeleton that was set after me. Anyways, I managed to finesse it and pepper it with many different types of spells until it collapsed like a mechanical sack of potatoes. Wires, screws and bolts falling out of it. I am glad that this madness is over. Another one of Draydan's failed machines, but this one has been eaten up by the astral infection, turning it into a malfunctioning and highly aggressive Terminator, and a highly heavily armored one to boot. Maybe Draydan should focus on making functional machines not meant for mass destruction. I got the keys to the ancient underground sacred temple of the lizards, handed to me by the witch doctor, who didn't even say the reason why I should even be down there. But I went anyways, because there might still be some cool treasures or spell books that was not ransacked during the Great Cataclysm. A girl can only dream. The only things that I managed to find were a bunch of strange battery-like objects that are probably meant for the altar in the middle of the temple's main chamber. So let's try that out. And surprise, a wild jungle guardian appears, who, let's face it, is probably going to try and grind my bones to dust. Because why not join in the fun pastime of trying to squash poor Morgana like a water-filled balloon? Everybody is doing it. I am starting to sound a bit too jaded. And also, wow, the guardian has lasers too. This truly is a party. I bet and hope and pray that this is not just another creation of Draydan, because that guy seems to just have it in for me for some reason. Like I stole his girlfriend or something. Great, thanks chaos that nonsense is over for now. Now I can focus on something more important, like making more guide voodoo dolls because they are selling out like hotcakes. What a truly defective creature. A once presumed glorious and dedicated sentinel made to protect the temple and its worshippers, but after the fall of the Lizard Empire, it has seen less use since then. Well, that was until I came. Apparently, while I was briefly away from the jungle, another inconspicuous virus just infected the place and nearly killed half the jungle village. Well, how did that happen? According to the villagers, a large, heavily armored bee was just spreading the thing all throughout the jungle, and I am just going to randomly guess that Draydan has something to do with this, because apparently they just have their meaty claws in everything that involves this world. And speaking of bees, there it is right now, coming to say hello by firing its disease-ridden missiles at me. At least it can properly aim, unlike say Anahita and a pet mutated goldfish. Wait, protocol what? Okay, now this is definitely a step up from Draydan's usual work. Also, I'm just beginning to wonder who gives Draydan all their funding. Like, do they have a sponsor, or are they just so incredibly talented that they can just make things up on the spot? We just about anything, like scrap metal. They should probably have done a better job when building this thing if they wanted me dead, because in its current state, this machine cannot kill me. Just how many of these machines has Draydan created? It feels like ever since the death of that disease-ridden flesh wall, every single mechanical aberration seemed to be coming out of the woodworks. Now we have a mechanical war machine that was based off one of the queen bees, spreading around the plague that nearly killed all my village residents. I fear for what might be in store for me in the future. With the sound of sleigh bells and Christmas jingles, the winter's fury spell arrives at the Archmage's shop. Thank you, kind sir. I shall be relieving you of this. Oh chaos, oh chaos, oh chaos. What is that fleshy looking creature? And why does it feel like if it touched me that I will have to shower about 5 million times just to get the foul stench of death off me? It is gross and admittedly quite disgusting and should probably be put down for its own benefit. Also, it has this strange aura around it that makes me feel like I have already been cursed by it just by looking at it. Like, am I going to just suddenly wake up in the morning looking like a 2000-year-old mummy? Well, only one way to find out. Let's destroy this mindless creature and dig around its insides. The sight of this twisted visage was truly sickening. A golem made of flesh and bone, being puppeted around by an unseen force. Perhaps by the power of an archaic eldritch deity, this flesh golem was given life. Its propensity for savagery and a relentless hunger for destruction is truly a sight to behold. So I am back here in the astral blight again, because I discovered that you could feed the altar some hearts from the astral creatures. Don't ask how I found that out, just know that I have that knowledge, and that I will totally use it for good. Ah, a giant worm from outer space. Who would have ever thought? A very aggressive one too. The worm also fires lasers too, because that is a very original and not at all what every other large monster has done throughout my adventures. Also good to know that the only original thing that you could do, you worm creature, is to clone yourself and split your power into 2 bodies, like it was supposed to give you some kind of advantage against me. Instead, it just made you a lot easier. A visitor from beyond the stars that came to these planets to spread the astral infection. A god it is, some say. Why and how it came to this planet is but a mystery. The giant who was here before me said that before my time, the astral infection was cleansed and the god driven on the ground, but my presence here seems to have awakened it and forced the dying god to have one last battle before it gets consumed by the infection. Maybe a trip to the beach might calm me down after fighting what basically amounted to gods and a bunch of rusty old robots. To get back to some sort of normalcy. Yeah, I can really feel the cool breeze from the beach washing over me. And oh great, it's ruined by another sea creature that looks like a swine crossed with a fish. Like, seriously, why does it look like a pig had relations with a catfish and just, I don't know, worked out for some reason? But enough about its appearance. Apparently it just has control of the sea now, which is not very good for me for very obvious reasons. I mean, I can't, drown due to my water breathing, but I can most certainly die from those hypercarnivorous and clearly very dangerous sharks. And also the pressure from that typhoon is probably going to crush me if I am not careful enough. Oh look, it's going into its whatever that is phase, and it's trying to basically bite me in half like some kind of chew toy. But no sir, not today. But today is the day you shall claim no more innocent lives ever again. And not that I am innocent to begin with, but just imagine that I am for a second. And this statement will totally work if you imagine that. Despite how unnatural and positively hilarious this creature might look, it belongs to a ravenous and bloodthirsty brood, the Dukes of the High Seas, and protectors of an ancient underwater paradise. Or so the story goes. According to the Sea King, the one that I killed was a mere infant. If it was this powerful at such a young age, then how powerful would it have been should it have been allowed to reach full maturity? Cultist at the dungeon. Whoops, it looks like I accidentally slipped and must now engage with them. That takes care of that. I was going to kill them anyway, I was going to attack them anyway, but now their leader, who is hopefully not a particularly powerful mage, is going to engage me and fight with me. Because believe it or not, I am actually here to kill them, because if I don't, something very very bad will happen and I will probably die as a result. Also, I am no longer hopeful that the leader is not particularly powerful. They just, have access to all kinds of dastardly and probably evil magic, due to being a cultist and all. And which definitely means that they are evil, very, very evil. and I am good, clearly. Well, evidently they did not possess magic that was powerful enough to stop me in my tracks. Way to go, you stupid, stupid cultist. Because, for a cult leader, you just kind of like suck like really, really badly too. Like, you can't even kill me properly. I asked the old man about the strange cultists at the dungeon. He replied saying that they were part of a group of necromancers that are dedicated to bringing about the end of times. I then asked about how they intended to do that. By bringing it into the mortal realm, he told me. It. What is it? By the sound of his voice, this was going to be a terrible event. Either way, I have to stop the cultists and their leader from bringing it into this world. Well, damn, I probably should have not gloated when I killed the cultist leader because, get this, the celestial invasion still happened, and now I am left to clean house because I was seemingly too slow, or whatever it was that the old man constantly spat out to me when scolding me. Maybe I should have left him at the dungeon. Okay, now to take care of the first problem, which is this very, very hot and terrible place that I wish would simply disappear from my sight. Much better. Now, after this terrible nonsense, where to now? Well, the jungle now looks like some god was drunkenly stumbling about the place and accidentally spilled their wine all over the place. Also, I noticed that there are brain suckers like everywhere, flying about and then fighting over who gets the right to eat my brains, like it was the last chip at the bottom of the chip bag. Whew, thank chaos that this mess is probably going to be over soon. Like, I can't imagine just how much worse things could get. Okay, let me just take a brief break from the celestial horrors and fight this, I don't know, butterfly creature, who for some reason is just shooting out rays of light that for some reason can just burn you like it's fire or something. Like, how is that even fair? It is nearly midnight, light generation at this skill should not be possible. But I should not be complaining because this is not even among the top 5 strangest things that I have ever seen in this world. But what I can complain about is about how unfair and numerous attacks are because I did not know that my ability to dodge was going to be put to the test today. Thank you, no thank you, butterfly freak. In a special place in the Hallowed, a place where the lace wings fly freely, a group of special flowers grow. The prismatic primrose blooms once every new moon. Once destroyed, it summons the enraged guardian of the Hallowed. I have planned for this and fought her during the nights, for in the day she has the power to eclipse even gods. It was a well fought fight, Empress. Well, back at this again, and hey look, bugs! Lots and lots of fast growing bugs. Like, what don't these pillars have hanging around them? I hate this place and all of the pillars because they are nuisances and just waste of time and space. Maybe I can finally, get rid of all of them and not have to worry about them ever again. Finally, the last one. Let's just hope that nothing strange happens here. Yeah, nothing strange happens here. Thus, living bubbles that can also rapidly multiply. Again, there is nothing that these pillars do not have. But it's very cool and very, very nice that this is the last one. Now it's just to wait for my apparent and imminent and impending doom. While I stand here thinking about how I might possibly die a very painful and horrible death, I am just wondering if the spellbooks that I have in my collection would be enough to stop the oncoming cosmic storm, or would they just be as useful as white toilet paper? Only one way to find out. Here it comes. Oh fun, a squid monster that has like about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 eyes. 7 big beautiful eyes that apparently fire lasers just like every other enemy that I have ever fought. Very cool, very fun. Like, this thing has been a very disappointing fight so far. Like, when the old man and the other villagers were basically having a panic attack, I thought that this was possibly the worst thing that had ever happened to these lands. But apparently it was just an aging, sick and waking god that could barely get through the interdimensional rift, who are now coming to die like a rabies infected animal. Fine, squid god, I shall grant you your wish and relieve you of your suffering and pain. Do not say that I have not done anything good for you. Goodbye, forever, for your time as a god has come to an end. Oh my days, where do I begin with this? The bringer of the end times was yet another eldritch aberration from beyond the stars. A once slain god back for revenge, but it did not get the revenge that it sought. for I was the one that came to face it this time. Our battle shook the planet and caused dimensional rifts to open up. The battle ended with a defeated god. Such a shame to become a fallen god yet again. Along with the squid god came these floating astral bodies that were filled to the brim with cosmic ore. Now I can extract its essence in order to update my spellbook arsenal. I feel like I am getting more and more powerful each day. Nothing can stop me, not even a god. But I have to admit, something feels off about the world. Ever since I drove back the cosmic horse and killed their god, more and more powerful and dangerous creatures are making their way here and are trying to kill me and the villagers. Maybe the killing of the god had dire consequences for the world, or maybe upon the squid's death I ascended into a new realm of power, which is now attracting some new more powerful enemies. It doesn't matter anyway, for I am stronger than whatever comes my way. Ah, the feeling of a sandstorm always calmed me down. Well, ignoring the past times it didn't. Now, come out and face me, you bunch of wet wipes. Haven't you been watching me for long enough? Maybe not a bunch of wet wipes. Let's say dry wipes instead. Oh, you guys did not like that one bit, did you? Well, there are plenty more insults where that came from. You and your toadies pose no threat to me, for you have not heard the tale of the ill-fated god and his downfall. If you have, then you will only know failure and despair awaits you and your kin. Although you might be overconfident due to your inextinguishable flames, but that alone is not enough to defeat me, for I now possess the powers of a god. Now disappear from my sight, you insignificant creatures. These balls of flaming rock seem to have not gotten the memo. I just defeated a true god. What did they honestly think that they could do to me? Apart from their unintimidating visage, the flames that they spit out seemed to burn hotter and brighter than even Greek fire. Every time I got burned, I felt not only my flesh melting, but also my very soul. I keep getting calls from the jungle villagers that apparently a furry dragon is destroying their crops and eating their people, and that I should just stop it for them. So yeah, with a special type of pheromone to attract the dragon. Well, that did not take too long. So let's get this over with so that I can go back to being antisocial and brooding in my castle. Wow, an enemy that actually shoots out a very unique attack that isn't a laser. Also, lightning infused feathers? That tells me that you're going to be a pain to deal with. But I won't mind adding Dragon Slayer to a collection of titles that I currently hold. It's just a shame that you're just a statistic to the dragon calling stats. Is it a bird? Is it a flying saucer? No, it is a very fluffy dragon, which is quite an odd type of dragon. I thought that most dragons were large and scaly. Either way, it matters not, for I suspect that this beast was not fully mature, because I've heard tales of a much larger and intimidating dragon flying about the jungle. Perhaps I should further explore the jungle to confirm this. I keep hearing a call from beyond this realm, telling me that I must be sacrificed for her appeasement, because I have disturbed the balance of the natural realm and must therefore be baptized in holy fire to rid the world of my foul presence. For the only way that the world shall move forward under her name is through providence. So you are the one who keeps sending me telepathic messages, threatening to extinguish my life force like a snuffed out candle.
Yes, praise to me, Providence, for it is I who is going to cleanse this world of all the madness and despair. Now cower before me, mortal, and prostrate thyself before your future ruler, or burn to ash like the rest of your ilk.
No, I don't think I will, because I have already gotten rid of one of you. Now I am going to be doing the same thing to you.
Foolish mortal, the god that you thought was aging and dying, too weak to even populate your first true dimensions. I, on the other hand, am the strongest that I've ever been. Now taste the light of my divine fire.
I've defeated all your emissaries, false god. You have no more allies left in this world.
That matters not. What does it make more of them? When I have annexed this world and added it to my collection of enslaved worlds.
You talk too much, you old crone.
I knew no little you perpetuate child. What have you done? Do you know what my death will mean for this universe? Have you no concept of what a divine hierarchy is?
I do not know, but I don't care. The world has no need for monsters like you to rule it. Only I have the right to rule this place, and no other being, whether they be mortal or god. None shall ever even deliberate on exacting their rule here without my say. Do you hear me, other gods? None of you shall defy me and take what is rightfully mine.
You evil mortal.
So this was the creature responsible for the uneasy feeling I got after killing its protectors. A maybe creature is not quite an accurate description. Deity seems quite fitting instead. The only thing that it expels from its blazing wings has the power to drain not only your life force away, but also turn you into ash. A morally depraved deity like the others that I have fought. As much as I like to pretend that my encounter with Providence had no effect on me, he said something that unnerved me, that there are more gods out there that are on a higher level than even her. I don't know how to cope with such knowledge, but that is the least of my issues right now, because more emissaries of a divine deity has arrived here on this planet, and now I must dispose of them and do my due diligence. The first of the 3 emissaries that arrived was called the Stormweaver, according to himself anyway. His control and manipulation of the elements were unlike anything that I had ever seen before, but that alone did not stop me from skewering it with my spells. The second one proclaimed himself to be Cygnus, the envoy of the Devourer. When I asked him about who the Devourer was, he claimed that it did not matter, for I shall not live long enough to meet him. That was until my irate typhoons cruelly crushed his head into paste. How unfortunate for him. The third and final emissary, brash and ever so arrogantly, called itself the Ceaseless Void, a being that said that it could devour just about anything due to the powers that were granted to it by an unstable interdimensional rift. But due to its own arrogance, it neglected to think about its own instability, otherwise it would not have collapsed into itself like that. So these are the lower emissaries of a dimensional hopping god, an unstable sentinel interdimensional warp gate, a flying storm serpent, and an endlessly hungry aberration. They are quite powerful indeed, especially that storm serpent. Every time I killed one of those creatures, I felt a tear rip through the fabric of reality. I was warned about this by the Dryad. Something bad is coming. On my way back from killing the Ceaseless Void, I was accosted by a new type of spectre. Since I during one of my battles with a god, their death had a lasting effect on the land, which would include the dungeon, I presume. I should have seen this coming, but no matter, for I shall wait. What is that feeling just now that I felt? It felt so ominous. I felt so much malice, hate, and anger. There it is again. Something bad and terrible is coming. Wait, there it is. So you are the evil that's essence from within these walls. So what are you? Some kind of specter? Not a talker, huh? Did those cultists call upon you? Are you their god? Or just another creature out for revenge? Well, splitting into 2 is not going to help you to kill me faster or easier. Still not talking. Okay, maybe you are just really not that fun to fight. And yeah, just another mindless creature meant to fill before you even began. Another waste of space. Who knew such a spectre was hiding right under my nose in the dungeon? I sensed its pain, its grief, its sorrow and anger, but yet I did not have any answers as to why the spectre felt this way. Was it the curse of the dungeon at play here, or some magical remnants left over from the cultists? Or perhaps something even more sinister is going on here. Oh great, not the acidic monsoon again. I wonder what types of horrors are going to be coming back with the rest of this circus. A mutated water bug, a sea slug, and a massive typhoon. Wait, what? A massive typhoon? How did you get here? I feel something coming from the typhoon. This feels familiar. This presence. Wait, it's one of the Duke of the High Seas kind, but this one looks older and a lot more durable than the last one did. Whoa, look at you. You're significantly faster than the other one. And you also are a lot more capable to exert more control over the marine elements. I am truly impressed by your raw power and dominance over the high seas. Our battle shall truly be as legendary as the fights with gods have gone. Give it your all, you nuclear mutated swine fish. You really did give it your all. It's just such a shame that I have far since outgrown you and your kind in power. Perhaps one day your kind can rise up from lowly fish to become prized majestic dragons. but you cross that waterfall when you get there. Also, this is what the Sea King meant when he said that that last fish round was but a mere infant. This is how the power of an aged, fully mature fish round feels. Truly exquisite. Its raw power is enough to even surpass the likes of some gods. According to some research out of those forsaken labs, Fishron are descendants of auric dragons or whatever that means. But I thought that they rarely left their homes. So why was this one out here? This is the place that he told me that we will arrive at. After weeks and weeks of sleepless nights, I shall finally rid myself of you, Devourer. Now show yourself, you void spawn.
You are no god, but your fixed upon your essence regardless. Your presence on this world has caused quite a disturbance, child.
Well, according to who, you overgrown pool noodle?
Name calling, I see. You truly have no grasp of the situation that you found yourself in. There are a lot of enemy gods who view you as a threat to their established order, a commonality that both you and I share.
So what, are you seeking an alliance or something?
Watch your mouth, insect, for there can never be an equal alliance between the two of us. No, what I seek is to eliminate competition, but there is only room for one god slayer in this universe. And it would be an insult for an insignificant spectre like you to claim such a title.
Ha, it's a bit insecure there, huh, Devourer? Well, fine then, let's settle this feud that has long since been buried for months, like professional god slayers.
Do not call yourself that. Oh yes, let's settle this conflict, for only the strongest can come out of this alive. Also don't get cocky, you brat.
Well, this is just my normal cadence towards things, you dullard. Ha! Running away, are you? It looks like you were just all talk after all. If you turn tail the moment things start getting more difficult for you.
It is not over yet, worm. For as long as I, the devourer of gods, still drop breath, all of you mortals are beneath me.
Are you just saying that because you are scared of me winning? There will not be enough of you left for me to be under once I am done with you.
You dare. A god does not fear death. My victory is already assured by my cosmic divine powers. All you have is talk and gloating.
Lap, lap, lap goes that little mouth of yours. And you say that all I have is talking. Projection much? If your victory was so assured, then you would not be projecting this much and deflected from reality. Because the reality of things is that you came all the way here just to fail and become another god that fell to my magic.
You speak like you have already won. No, this cannot be happened to me. I'm supposed to win. No.
Indeed, you might have won, if not for your arrogance and refusal to see the forest for the trees. I pity you, Devourer. So much potential for the greatest alliance that ever graced the universe, but instead you dash it all away due to your own incompetence and stupidity. You were never going to make it very far in this universe anyway. I was merely do you a favor by killing you. It first began when I started having nightmares, whispers from the darkest depths of my dreams, telling me that he was coming. I would then wake up in a cold sweat and a foggy haze trying to wrap my head around what all that meant. But now I know what it all meant. A warning that the Devourer of Gods had broken through my reality. Also the arrogant megalomaniac calls himself. A gluttonous beast whose only way of gaining power is to devour those who are his betters. I got yet another urgent call from the Drago villagers, this time giving me a petrified telling about another Drago dragon that was seen surveying the jungle. Now I am not one to be alarmed at such things anymore, but from their scared and tired forms I could tell that this was not like last time. So now I am here to verify things. So you must be the dragon that the villagers were worried about. You are certainly bigger and more dangerous, if those blazing tornadoes are anything to go by.
You have been allowed to get too powerful for far too long. It should have struck you down when I played with him to do so. But no, he desired a worthy adversary, one that could perhaps grant him the greatest battle of his lifetime, which he seeks. I would have normally allowed this to proceed, but I felt something a lot more sinister with you, just like I did with her. But fear not, Hatchling, I shall end this as quickly and as painfully as possible.
Wow, a talking dragon? You don't see that every day. Yeah, look, I've already done this song and dance with other enemies before. So can we just head straight to the path where you try to kill me? Or do you have more to say?
Yes, I have more to say. A warning, as you might call it. But this is not to you. Hear me, O great God King. The enemy has far exceeded your expectations and has been allowed to ascend beyond their station. How could you let this happen? To let her ruin all our plans and all that we have built together? Despite my undying loyalty to you, I have defied your wishes and engaged the enemy before all was lost. Maybe I did it because of my loyalty to you. I know what you have lost, the pain and the suffering that you have endured. I was there. We had each other to weather the storm of the new coming age. Your sadness and loss does not mean that you should be letting these upstarts run amok. Like feral hounds without a master to discipline them. You are a god king. Act like it. Because should I fall and fail today, I want you to pick up your blade and remove this wannabe god from your midst and build back better than ever before. With the power that you have taken from them, heed my warning, fear the sorceress, for underestimating her means to lose.
Wow, you sure are rather talkative, which I like, considering how boring most fights tend to be. It is good to know that I have considered such an extreme threat that even the Dragon God himself had come to take me out. It is just a shame that I have far eclipsed your pitiful power, Dragon God, Yaron. You should have trusted your gut instincts and not waited for me to further ascend into power.
What you say is true. So, in my final breaths, don't lose your rem for the sake of what we have built.
When I went to the jungle temple, the mentions of a dragon age long since past. The Corins described the calling of the Auric dragons by the gods, but some dragons managed to escape the calling. One of these dragons was the dragon god Yawan, who only escaped due to his ability to become reborn from his ashes, never to experience true death. During our fight, Yawan gave out a warning to what I assume is a potential collaborator about how I have been allowed to get too powerful and that they should have struck me down when they had the chance. Who is this person? How long have they been watching me? Does not help that I've been seeing some spy drones floating around my home. Either way, as the dragon faded into ash, only an egg remained in its place. Upon the death of the dragon god, his essence and power spread amongst the underground, creating some sort of lightning-infused divine ore. I know this because the mechanic has sampled some ore and told me that it could create an armor so powerful that nothing short of a high-level universal being could penetrate it. So I gathered as much as I possibly could and created one of my most prized possessions, the Auric armor. Its aura radiates divinity. Now for my next move. I will get some signals through my radio that I managed to decipher. It told me to come find them, and by them I mean Draydon, the twisted bastard that sent a bunch of mechanical devils to test me for some reason. I still don't know what they were testing. Maybe I could find out when I find them. I raided all the lives that I could find and took all the tech away from those places, because I will need them in order to construct a signal tower for better communications with Draydon. Well, that's what the blueprints in those labs that I found on the ground said at least. Good, that is it for now. That is all done. All I am just missing is the Auric power cell, and I should have everything. Hey, he's on, my most powerful dragon pet. Do you think that what I am doing is a bad idea? Oh, you think it is? Oh well, if it blows up in my face, it blows up in my face. Now to contact that fool. So you are the prick that has been trying to kill me for a while.
I have waited long for this moment. Why, you might ask, for your nature fascinates me. Just I did not understand it. Now we shall face my creatures that surpass even the gods, and you will show me your disposition through battle. Now choose.
could we do this another time?
What?
Like tomorrow. I just wanted to see you in person, but I shall be ready for your challenges tomorrow.
Very well then. Have a nice day.
Well, that worked out somehow. Okay, so now I am back and ready. So let's get this show on the road. Straight on.
Yes, let us do that. You have chosen Thanatos. I await your imminent demise.
Wait, hey, that was very nice. I thought that we were supposed to be, friends for a second there.
I have no need for friends, Simeon. Only my lust for knowledge and my creations can be my companions.
Damn, sounds rather lonely to be honest. Well, I don't really know how many worm-like enemies that I've killed, but I'm about to add your ultimate creation to the list as well.
If that is what you wish, then so shall it be.
Wait, I thought that this was only going to be a fight against one of them. That is so not fair. That is very deceptive of you, Trader.
I promise you something. And furthermore, why release this fine machine when it is actually improved with terrible knowledge, which captures the essence of my work? Truly no other method can ever approach perfection.
Well, if you are going to cheat, bring it on then. I have killed gods of every type. A couple of scrap metal kitchen appliances can't even begin to scratch my greatness.
Try to before the fall, which will take the everything to devour, and humble yourself. If you know the fact that I had 4 of my creations, I have 4 eclipses in the power of gods. You are fighting a losing battle, child.
But you are just an android. Even machines are incorrect sometimes.
We shall see then.
Well, Ares is down, so 3 more to go. Now for the twins. Apollo or Artemis now stood a chance against me. Now it's time to kill death itself. Whoa, now that is a lot of lasers, but that won't do anything against me if I am moving too fast to get hit by most of them. Wait, what is that being charged? A massive laser beam? That I somehow expertly dodged. Now die, Thanatos. Ha! What do you say to that, Radon?
Inconceivable, and enigma is what you are. You came from beyond nowhere, and have entered this universe to cause chaos and calamity. Just like her and him, you are all one and the same. I wish that I had noticed this sooner. You carried accordingly. We have given much to ponder. Farewell, child of the world.
And farewell to you too, prick. These are Drado's new machines, a more improved version of his failed experiments, who I was told were only reactivated to spy on me, and to test me, to see if I was worth further studying, or whatever nonsense that sick android tells themselves. Well, if I must confess, these new death machines do serve their purpose. They have the capability to completely reduce a town to rubble on a mere whim. They leave untold death and destruction in their wake. So I met a psychopath that loves sending his death machines after me. I wasn't expecting him to look like that. I thought that I was going to meet an old man, but an android was not expected. Maybe this might not be his real body. He said that he made these new improved machines from data gathered on me. Ha! My very own training dummies that adapt to my abilities and skills every time I defeat it. This is a blessing in disguise. Thank you, Draydon. A miracle matter, a few swords that power those god-level machines. The true extent of its use is unknown to all but Draydon, but it shall suffice when I use it to create the subswimming vortex. I have been having some thoughts right in my fort about how I got here, and about how great the power that I had obtained since coming here. Do I even want to go back home, or do I want to stay here and grow even more powerful than before? Or maybe even powerful enough to eclipse the known universe. Go anywhere I want and do whatever I want, but because I won't be bound by this mortal shell any longer. But more sinister forces are preventing this from happening, because to the east I sense an aging, decaying God King, waiting with his bloodthirsty army to come strike me down and erase me from existence. And to the north, I feel drawn to that place, because I feel a kindred spirit calling for their chaotic magic to reap chaos and sow grief in their path. I am both fearful and elated that such a powerful foe has deemed me powerful enough for them to engage and eliminate. For now, I can finally show off my true magical powers against another worthy mage. Come now, a being of pure magic and chaos, show me what you have learned during your time of living. They are watching, I feel it. Maybe a little blood sacrifice can coax them out. Well, that seemed to work rather quickly.
Do you enjoy going through hell, child?
Wait, what? That is a little bit hostile to start things off.
You should have just died when that dragon came to kill you. But no, you were just as stubborn as ever. Grasping for any morsel of power that you could get your hands on. I heard that you fought that old fool traitor. So, what kind of killing machines did he cook up this time? Perhaps another quote-unquote improved doppelganger of me. I heard that the last one did not do so well. Quite a failure indeed.
So you know Drayden, huh? I'm guessing allies who had a bit of a falling out.
A falling out is putting it mildly. I was caring and compassionate while he was cold, uncaring, and most importantly, selfish. Just like you and all the power that you possess, which you could use for great things. Instead, it is wasted on you. A great shame indeed. Also, have you met my family? Horrible, aren't they?
I guess that Tweedledum and Tweedledee did not make the divine cut like you, huh? Which means that they are of no significance to me due to their lack of godliness. Well, surely you jest, but my brothers are just another extension of my will and power. They are just as much divine as I am, and for this grave insult you shall suffer greatly. Well, I'm just going to break out of this little arena that you made for us in order to exert my full capabilities. Powers cannot hold an equal like me in.
How full of yourself do you need to be to possibly think that escape for me is easy? As long as you live, I shall make you suffer.
What? Wait, what have I ever done to you?
What you have done to me matters not, but what you have done to the balance of the world is a different story. You are simply just an upstart that recklessly killed and stole their way to power, like somebody else that I used to know.
All the power that I currently possess has not been stolen and instead rightfully earned by me, yours truly. Also, in case you didn't notice, every single enemy that I fought was, so I quite simply defended myself against them. And I will also defend myself against the likes of you.
Silence! You have no stake in this battle. No one gave you any say in what goes on in the world.
Well, maybe not, but I don't need anyone to tell me what I can and cannot do. I alone get to decide my own fate and the fate of my surroundings.
If that is your answer, then I fear that we are both beyond reason. Once the dust is settled, only one remains. If it is you, then what was the point of me coming here anyways?
My magic is far superior to yours, witch. You had already lost the fight when you began to complain about my past deeds. Unable to move on from the past, your powers have not progressed since your halcyon days, huh? You choose to remain where you were due to your fear of change. Can I ask you something calamitous? Who made you this afraid of change? Was it yourself, or was it the master whom you served before?
Just stop! You talk about me being stuck in the past, but the truth is I have no future if I lose here. I have no path to follow, only you have that luxury. But if you continue to do things like this, the way you are now, only despair is at the end of that path. I give up, you win. I no longer have the will to fight you, or him anymore. I have no place in my heart anymore to resent the both of you. I did the fate of this world in both your hands, but only one of you may rule.
You fought well, Calamitous, but you seem like a hopelessly damaged person.
Spare me your pities, for I must rest now.
The Brimstone Witch, that is what she calls herself, a crazy borderline sociopathic maniac whose mere presence oozes powerful, destructive brimstone magic. I have felt this presence before, down in the abandoned village, hidden by the fire and brimstone. When I was taken away with that after she came to me saying that I have been allowed to go far enough in my quest for power and knowledge, she was not going to let me repeat her mistakes. She called me selfish for wielding power all for myself. How presumptuous of her. She knew nothing of me, but yet she seemed to think herself qualified to pass judgment upon me. Her arrogance knows no bounds. Why did she keep trying to goad me into giving up mid-battle? Telling me that I had no stake in this fight, that only one of us could walk away from this fight, that if I was the winner, that the results would be detrimental to the world. He accused me of being just a simple upstart, resisting and killing my way to power, and as she was reminded by someone she knew, what does that mean? Who is this mysterious person? Maybe all that fire and brimstone has cooked her brain permanently. Maybe I am just being too mean and insensitive. She did confess to me that she had lost her entire clan to the Garden of the Brimstone Owls. I pitied her for her story. It's almost similar to mine. Perhaps we can bond over that. As I stand on the precipice of power and authority, I wonder how things will proceed from here on out. Are there going to be any more adventures to be had? Are there any more gods to be slain? Only the future can tell. Calamitas is doing very well since our battle. The mental scars that she has done a lot more damage to her than any 4th-degree burns could ever possibly do to someone. She has told me stories of her former master, Yoram, who saved her when she was a mere infant, and on her last legs. She also told me that she is the reason for the cataclysmic events that sank the Sea King's home and community, and also many, many more things. So this is it, huh? The end of my journey. Well, before my final fight against Yoram, that is, the God King. I am sure that he's angry at me. Consider how much of his plans that I have destroyed and all that he has built that I have also destroyed. He will eventually come after me, but I shall be here, waiting, prepared as always, learning new tricks and growing my magic, for he shall not have the final say in how this world is ruled. I no longer have any plans to return home, for this is my new domain, and I shall maintain it to the best of my abilities.